Welcome to today's podcast on the power of body language. Have you ever noticed how much we communicate without using words? That's right, nonverbal communication or body language plays a huge role in how we express ourselves and understand others. But did you know that body language can vary dramatically across different cultures? Today, we're going to explore how body language is used in communication and dive into some important vocabulary words that will help you better understand and use nonverbal cues in your conversations. Let's start with a fundamental concept. What exactly is body language? Body language refers to the gestures, facial expressions, posture, and eye contact we use when we communicate. Think about it for a second. When you're talking to someone, are you aware of the way you're standing or sitting? Do you make eye contact or perhaps avoid it? Are your arms crossed or open? These nonverbal signals tell a lot about how you're feeling or what you're thinking, even if you haven't said a word. Now, here's the fascinating part. Body language doesn't always mean the same thing in every culture. For example, let's talk about eye contact, something we all do when we speak with others. In many Western cultures, maintaining eye contact is seen as a sign of confidence and respect. But in some Asian cultures, too much eye contact can be considered rude or confrontational. In these cultures, avoiding eye contact is often viewed as a sign of respect, especially when speaking to someone older or in a position of authority. Let's also talk about gestures. A simple gesture like a thumbs up can be interpreted very differently depending on where you are. In the US, a thumbs up is a sign of approval or agreement, but in some Middle Eastern countries, it's an insult. That's why it's so important to understand the cultural context of body language, especially when you're traveling or communicating with people from different parts of the world. Next up, we have personal space. This is another area where cultural differences play a huge role. In some cultures, people are very comfortable with standing close to each other during a conversation. In Latin American and Mediterranean cultures, for example, it's normal to stand close, even touch during conversation. However, in countries like the United States or the United Kingdom, people tend to prefer more personal space, and standing too close might feel uncomfortable. Personal space can indicate friendliness, intimacy, or even formality depending on the culture. Moving on, let's talk about posture. The way we carry ourselves can say a lot about our emotions and intentions. For instance, in many cultures, slouching is often associated with laziness or lack of interest, while standing up straight with shoulders back is a sign of confidence and attentiveness. But again, posture can vary across cultures. What might be seen as a sign of respect in one culture could be interpreted as stiffness or coldness in another. It's important to observe and adapt to the expectations of the culture you're in. Lastly, let's discuss facial expressions. These are universal across all cultures, right? Well, mostly. While emotions like happiness, sadness, or anger are expressed through similar facial movements in every culture, the way we interpret these expressions can differ. In some cultures, people may hide their true feelings behind a neutral face, while in others, showing emotion openly is more common. A smile, for example, might be seen as a sign of friendliness in one culture, while in another, it could be perceived as insincere or even nervous. So, why is all of this important? Well, in a world that's becoming more interconnected, understanding body language and cultural differences in communication is crucial for effective interaction. Whether you're traveling, working in a multicultural environment, or simply trying to connect with someone from a different background, being mindful of nonverbal cues can help avoid misunderstandings and build stronger relationships. Before we finish, let's go over the 6 vocabulary words we discussed today. 1. Eye contact. The act of looking directly at someone's eyes during a conversation. It's used to show interest, respect, or confidence. 2. Gestures. Hand or body movements that express ideas or emotions, such as waving, pointing, or thumbs up. 3. Personal space. The physical distance people prefer to maintain between themselves and others during interaction. 4. Posture. the way we sit, stand, or move our bodies, which can indicate emotions like confidence, boredom, or interest. 5. Facial expressions. The movements of our face that convey emotions, such as a smile, frown, or raised eyebrows. 6. Cultural context. The background or environment in which body language is used, affecting how gestures, expressions, or movements are interpreted. I hope this podcast helped you understand the power of body language and how it varies across cultures. By paying attention to nonverbal cues and being mindful of cultural differences, you can communicate more effectively and avoid misunderstandings. Keep these vocabulary words in mind and start practicing using body language to enhance your conversations today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.